Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you my simple and fast color grading process of a look recreation from a reference image in DaVinci Resolve using only few serial nodes. And we'll also share a free LUT of a look we've created so you could use it and check it in your own projects. So, for example, I've chose this still from the Joker movie as the reference because it has a really strong and pushed look that I really love, and I want to create this similar one in this clip. Let's firstly convert this clip from log to Rec 709. As usual, I will work in DaVinci Wide Gamut color space, so add color space transform to the node, then add one more node. In the first one, while this clip is shot in Canon Log 3, I choose Canon Cinema Gamut for my input color space and Canon Log 3 for my input gamma. Then DaVinci Wide Gamut for my output color space and DaVinci Intermediate for my output gamma. Then copy this node and paste it to the last one. Press that swap button so my input becomes DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate and change my output color space to Rec 709. And while it's for YouTube, I choose my output gamma as gamma 2.2. And done, it's converted to Rec 709 now. And I will work in between of these nodes in DaVinci Wide Gamut color space. But firstly, I want to analyze the reference image, and to do that faster and easier, I will use my indicator LUTs. In this case, I will go to my project timeline and add the LUTs here, so I could turn them on and off for all of my timeline clips at once with just a one click. Okay, I will need to check an exposure, so I will go to my LUTs folder, indicator LUTs, and add my exposure indicator LUT as the first timeline node. Let's name it exposure. Okay. Let's disable it by now. The next one will go saturation indicator LUT. We'll name it saturation. Okay. We'll disable it too for a while. And the third, I think, would be maybe the white balance indicator LUT. Let's add it too. Name it white balance LUT. Okay. I have different episodes in my YouTube channel which explaining more detailed use of these indicator LUTs and all of their benefits. Them are mainly as the scopes. All of them are available in my website gradelagpro.com. I've added the link in the description of this video, so if you'll be interested, just go check them out. Okay, so let's go back to the clip level now, choose our clip. I want to create a simple node tree that I will use in this look creation. And the first node will be my exposure as usually, then the second node will be for saturation controls. I will use HSV Saturation method from Cal & Kelly. It's one of the best methods to add or remove the saturation levels in your image. The next node will be our balance, and the last node will be our look. Okay, so this will be my simple and small node tree for this shot, and the main look will be created in these two nodes. While I see that this image is pretty good balanced already, I don't need any additional balancing nodes here. The first step I'll need to do is to deal with an exposure of my shot to push it closer to my reference image. So in case to check an exposure, I open two clips side by side. I can check them in the waveform, but I prefer using my indicator LUTs for that. So in this case, I will enable my exposure indicator LUT. Here's the color chart of its indication. So what do we see here? This violet color shows the darkest areas of an image which are less than 10% of brightness. This green is our middle gray, and the highlights are shown in this warm orange, and them are around 90% of the brightness levels here. And what do we see in our image? It looks much brighter, especially in the midtones. I want to get that green middle gray indication here on the ground and darker violet indication in the shadows here, like in my reference, and still keep the highlights on maybe the same level as they are now. So I'll switch to the clip level, go to my exposure node. As I want to bring down my midtones to this green indication color here, I go to my gamma wheel and push it down, like -8. As you see, my shadows became darker and I got this green indication level in my mids here. I feel that my highlight sits a bit lower now, and shadows are a bit too dark, because I see that bright magenta color here. That means that this area could be way too dark or even crushed. Okay, recenter an image. So I will add one in my lift to bring back some light in my shadows, and add a little bit more in my highlights to get the same indication color like in my reference. So we'll push my gain wheel up something like maybe +7. Looks fine. Okay, so I can disable my exposure indicator LUT now and check the result. As I see in the waveform, they looks very similar. I'm not looking at the colors now, but I'm checking on exposure levels only. So let's check it before and after. Before and after. Looks much better. For the next step, I want to deal with the saturation a bit. Our shot looks too saturated for me, especially in his skin tones, and to check it better, I will go to the timeline again and enable my saturation indicator LUT. And here's also the chart of the saturation indication levels. So the natural looking skin tone should be usually indicated in green with a little bit of yellow places. I have a full dedicated YouTube episode about that. So in this case I see that his skin is way too saturated because it's mostly indicated in warm yellow and even some red color. We can also check it with our reference. I see that an overall saturation is much lower, with only few high saturated parts like this shirt and few signs on the ground, but it's mostly done for the viewer's attention. But an overall shot is less saturated, so I'll go to the clip level and choose HSV Saturation node, right-click on this node, go to the color space and change it to HSV. Then go to the channels, turn off the first hue channel and the third value channel, so I stay with only 1 second saturation channel. Then using my gamma and gain wheels, I can control my saturation in more like a cinematic way. In this case, I want to remove some saturation from his skin in my midtones, so I go to my gamma wheel and push it down to get more green indication in his face, with maybe a little bit of yellow. Like -5 looks okay. And maybe remove some from my highlights, just a little bit, like -4. Okay, I'll go and disable the LUT now, and let's check it before and after. Yes, it's a big difference. I still feel that his skin tone sits more on magenta color side. Some of the people have this skin tone and it's okay, but I can also fix it if I want to. To check it better, I will use my skin tone indicator LUT here. I also have a full dedicated episode about that, so I will add this LUT after Rec 709 conversion. Yes, it shows that his skin is on the magenta tone side. I want to get a bit better separation of this tone between green, orange and magenta, so I will create one more node. We'll name it secondaries and we'll use my hue versus hue curve. Select the red color and push it slightly down to get his skin indicated in green, orange, magenta tones. Something like that. Okay, disable the LUT and check what we've done. Before and after, before and after. As I see, his skin tone also goes straight to the skin tone line in the vector scope, and I also feel much better skin tone separation in his face and lips. This looks better for me. Okay, so what we can tell about our reference? It is pushed towards these yellow-green cyan tones. I also check the darkest black points. As I see, them are not pure black, but mostly in cyan blue tone. You can see that tone mix in the colorized waveform. The blue color circle is dominant, the green color sits a bit lower, and the red is the lowest here. Then this ground is more greenish yellow, where green is the dominant, red sits lower, and the blue is even strongly removed. And our highlights are the same as midtones in more like a greenish yellow tones. Okay, I can also check this reference with my white balance indicator LUT, and I see what areas have this dominant green, yellow or blue tone. And if I check my image, I mostly see that it has a yellow and blue dominant colors, but not such a green tone. Okay, so I want to push my overall image balance to the green cyan tones. In this case, I want to use the balancing technique that I also borrowed from the great colorist. His name is Colin Kelly. I know that a lot of known colorists use this technique today in every new video, but I never saw it before Colin Kelly showed it in his YouTube channel. So go check him out too. He explains all the details about how it works. Okay, so press the right mouse button on this node and change its gamma to linear. Then go to the primaries and set Lume Mix to 0. That way, controlling one of the color channels, you don't get so much response from the other two. And now, using only one gain wheel, I can change my white balance in this shot. Okay, so to push an image to the cyan tones, I have to remove some reds, add more greens, like +8, and maybe add a bit of blue too. Something like that. Check it before and after. I can also check it with my white balance indicator LUT. I see that I've added that green tone now. Here's the reference and ours, so we can see what we've done before and after this balance. Okay by now. So next I want to get a bit deeper contrast. I see that the shadows are deeper and more compressed and soft in my reference. while our shot feels a bit flat here. So we'll go to the Look node, then Curves, push my black point a bit up to have it softer a bit, and the white point a little bit down, then make some kind of an S-curve, push the shadows down, and compress them a bit, something like this. Then check my midtones, like so, and maybe add a little bit in my highlights. Check with the reference. Okay, push the highlights slightly down, and maybe a bit less in my midtones. So I feel that the contrast became stronger, deeper and more cinematic now. Zoom it a bit, okay. So in case to recreate the color tones, I have to analyze my reference image a bit better. The midtones has these green-yellow tones, blacks are more cyan blue, and highlights are greenish yellow again. Okay, so I usually start from the brighter tones. If I have green channel dominant, then red and much less blue here. But in my image it's green, then blue and much less red. It's way too cold here. I have to change that. In case to push it to the warmer side, I have to remove the blue channel in my gain. I'll push it stronger, like down to maybe 88. It became much warmer, but greener. So I will remove some greens too and add more red, like so. Don't worry about that an overall image became very warm now. While primary wheels are affecting each other, I will compensate that in gamma. My main attention is on the brighter tones now. So what do we have in our midtones? While they became very warm now, I have to cool them out. So I will increase the blue channel in my gamma to push that yellow warmth out. Something maybe like +3, then remove some reds that push an image towards the cyan tones, and also add some greens back. Okay, for now, let's also check the darkest tones. In our image them are more neutral, but the reference has stronger cyan blue in them and less red. So I'll go to my lift and remove a little bit of reds, just a little, and we are starting to get a bit similar base now. I just want to check everything and make some additional adjustments if I need to. Like these midtones are still a bit too warm, so maybe remove some reds and add a bit of greens, like so, and check the highlights again. Them are close, but I would maybe remove some reds here. Okay. I'm also missing some of the blues in my shadows, so we'll add it in my lift. Okay, let's go to the bigger view. Maybe remove some greens from the lift too. Okay, I feel we are much closer with the look now. Yes, I can still play longer with the controls and get better results, but I feel it's very close and similar, not 100% the same, but similar tones and mood. The only thing, I feel that our image has higher cyan tone saturation, and I can easily decrease it using simple hue versus saturation curve. We'll check all the color presets here, grab my cyan color and desaturate it, like so. Maybe push it back a bit, something like that. And I also feel that I want to add a little bit of yellow saturation to make his jacket and the wall behind a little more saturated, like so. We'll check the skin saturation again. Okay, maybe slightly remove some red saturation. Fine. I think that we are very close with our reference now. It's hard to compare them side by side because of the different focal length in our shots. We also have our background in focus while the reference is blurry. Okay, so let's check what we've done in the two look creation nodes now, before and after. Maybe turn off the wall grid and check it node by node. This was exposure, HSV desaturation, then skin tone hue, balance for more cyan look, and then final look node. I will delete this LUT node. Okay, so I want to make this look as the creative LUT now, but I want the LUT to use only two look creation nodes. So disable all the nodes, activate only two of them, enable clips, right mouse button on the clip, generate LUT, we'll choose the highest quality 65 point cube, then save this LUT in my LUTs folder, we'll name it maybe Cine VN, and hit save. Then in DaVinci Resolve, choose the LUTs, navigate to the folder. I want this LUT to be in, for example, this custom folder. press the right mouse button on it and choose Reveal in Finder. This will open this folder in Window. Then just copy my LUT and paste it to this folder. Back to Resolve, press the right mouse button inside of this folder and choose Refresh. And done! It's imported to my custom folder now. Let's check how it works. Let's turn on all the nodes, but disable these two Look nodes. Create a new node instead of them. We'll name it LUT and add our Cine LUT to it. Perfect! As you see, it works great. Without the LUT and with the LUT. Nice look. It's very similar to the reference. Okay, so this LUT is free to download in my website greatlakepro.com by the link in the description of this video. You can play with it in your projects and make some cool looks. In the next part 2 of this episode I will show you how this LUT works in different shots, what adjustments you can do to even change its look to the one you want, and also show you the way to combine it together with Resolve's Look Creator plugin and get even more filmic results. But now let's check our created look on the full screen. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!